my beautiful gemstones. Welcome to, as I blow out my smoke, Tuesday afternoon talk with myself and Ghostdragonzw. Not feeling the best today, but we'll make the best of it as we always do. And yeah, so I thought we were going to have a guest up until about 30 seconds before going live when he backed out. And I know he's really nervous. And I think that he thinks more than what it is. Like, nervous about exposing that you're a skeptic in the community and not realizing that, we're accepting and I just want to ask a skeptic questions like, how do you not believe in this type stuff? But our buddy, Mr. Total, backed out, and he did say it had something to do with his daughter's school, but whether or not it did, that's okay because you still have us. So let me say hello to everybody. I've been working my badonkey off trying to catch up with my writing, guys. So don't forget, this coming Monday, there won't be a pre-recorded upload. But just for this coming Monday, you guys know I am always on point with that upload. I just don't have the time this week to do it because I want to catch up for my day job. And I have to invoice for that on Saturday. So if I do nothing but work on that and do the live streams for the rest of the week, I will be good to go and right on track. Long Island Bigfoot, what's up? Nightmare brought to my attention that Long Island Bigfoot still was not a wrench, so I made him a managerial wrench. I don't watch on YouTube like I used to have YouTube open and StreamYard open. And as you can see, I'm still a little glitchy because I still have not figured out the Wi-Fi booster. I may just get a more expensive one off Amazon and see if like the instructions are a little bit clearer. Or if I get some time, which I haven't had time to do a basic phone call with Ghost Dragon so that he can maybe help me set up the booster because I do have it right here. So I usually don't keep YouTube open as well. Plus there's a delay when you do that. And I can't give wrenches from StreamYard. So he is a wrench now, a managerial one. Thank you, sir. And I did pin the comment up at top, which is, I believe, Long Island Bigfoot's channel. I just know someone put it in there. Nightmare put it in there. Baby UFO, what is up? 30 more UFO whistleblowers graced Congress. Exciting times. I haven't seen that yet, but I am definitely going to look into it. Blue Crossroads says 30 or 300 won't make a difference with his current administration. The only time it's going to carry weight is if they need something to distract from something else they don't want you to know about. I definitely agree with that. I do, because it's all about the administration, about who's in the positions of power to actually do something about the whistleblowing and do something about the information that's coming out. I mean, I mean, that's just sensical. Bat Mom, Cynthia Prince. PB&J just tasted just like all the other PB&J they've had for lunch every day for the past 3 weeks. Why are you only eating PB&J? Have you heard of peanut butter and fluff too, or regular peanut butter, or peanut butter jelly and bacon on a well-toasted everything bagel? I need to eat. Yeah, I haven't been. I was just telling Ghost Dragons. I've been like 310 nutrition shake in the morning, ramen for lunch, and Red Bulls and water for dinner. It's basically it. Mark Hall said, what is up, sweetheart? And Edna, Baby UFO, you are welcome anytime. I'm actually looking for guests. I've been putting it out there. I guess not a lot in stream, because I guess, I don't know, I assume all of you know that if you ever want to come on, just tell me. But hit up my email, or if you have my number, text me and we'll set up a time for you to come on. I would love it. I would love to have guests on this show, because sometimes we just kind of sit here and just, it goes off in all different directions because we don't really have a set thing that we talk about on Tuesdays. We just know that we're talking, and that's what we're doing. Dogman, UK Man, Chris Jarvis, Kirby's 100. Most skeptics don't believe because they're afraid to learn that what science and religion have brainwashed them into thinking is false. Yeah, but that's the thing with our friend Total. I don't think that he's very religious. I don't know. That's why I wanted to have him on, because I want to try to understand where his skepticism comes from. Let me bring in the Ghost Dragons. Remember, guys, he's having some issues with his mouth and his teeth because of that nasty fall he took last week. He did go to the dentist. He is having some major dental issues, so he can talk, but not like a whole lot. So, but he doesn't talk a whole lot usually. I mean, who are we kidding?
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Hey there,
I
buddy.
look like a new. Well, they're also going to do surgery on my throat tomorrow too.
Are you? I'll just mention it on air so that
you do that to me, so I don't feel bad now. But it's surgery that needs to be done, and hopefully, when they're done with everything, come Friday, not only will I look a little different, I will sound a little different.
In my memories on Facebook from today, my memory from last year was that everybody sends you prayers for your throat surgery that you were having that day. So isn't that crazy? It's like 1 year almost to the day. Wow.
Well, you know, during that time, I had like 7 done.
Restricted fasting, but it's working, rebuilding past muscle mass and looking even better than normal. Yay, looking good. I see you in your uniform and your Gemma Jade shirts. Oh, speaking of which, real quick, guys, I got an amazing surprise this morning. I knew the shirt was coming, but as always, Arisha at Jive Creations never fails. You know, she never disappoints. And so this is just one of 3 new designs, front and back. The back design's the same throughout the 3 front designs. This is a front design that I chose for my shirt. Guys, it's not on the website yet, but she's getting there. She's got a really huge order of shirts that she's doing, and when she's done with that, she'll put it up. I can't say anymore. Just look.
Looks good.
Okay, and then the back, though, is the best. I'm just going to sit backwards on the chair because I really do have no room here, and then you can tell me if you could read it. Can you read it?
Nope. A little higher. There you go. Pull it down so you can see the writing. A little more on your left. Right? There you go. It looks good there. Looks good.
Says, in a world full of chaos, be a gemstone. I don't know. I went through all that because she surprised me with my little man. Which is just absolutely adorable. But this is what I was really, really excited about. A nice, big, soft, comfy hoodie, just in time for hoodie season. And then as an extra gift from Sir Ghost Dragons, something that I was debating whether I should wear this one or this one today.
My dad loves his. He wears it all the time.
Hillbilly towing. And if you guys can see that, that is Miss Lotus Girl and her husband, their towing company. You know how she is Lotus Girl towing to Neil? This is why, Hillbilly Towing. And I just want to say, guys, you know, dealing with the bullying last week that I was dealing with, it was really hurtful and kind of painful just for like a day. And then I kind of got over it and I feel so much better about it. And then going right into now, something's going on with Lotus Girl. And somebody, we'll call them a Kevin, because that's what a male Karen is called, allegedly, is trying to bring Hillbilly Towing down by putting bad reviews and, you know, no stars. But it's the same person throughout. And this person had a lot of movement, like through Facebook. They got the post shared 130 times because the guy was driving behind one of Lotus Girl's trucks. And it's the best driver that she has. And she actually was able to track the speed he was going. He was doing 1 mile under the speed limit, so he couldn't have been erratically driving. The guy was just annoyed that he was stuck behind a tow truck, and now he's trying to bring their entire business down. And that's not cool.
The sad thing is this guy was complaining he was going to be late for church. Now, that don't sound like a Christian to me.
Complaining you're going to be late for church while cursing at and screaming at the guy in front of you.
I'm glad I wasn't there because I'd have put the fear of God in him.
I'm starting a campaign where I am making as many 5 stars, not putting actual reviews because that would be lying, but going in and just hitting the 5 stars on their website, on Yelp, for Hillbilly Towing in Kingsport, Tennessee, to try and get rid of all the damage this guy has done with all of his false negative reviews. New England Dirt Roadie, what is up? So that is that, and that is the news of the week. So thank you, Arisha and Jive Creations, Hillbilly Towing, and Sir Ghostdragonzw for the beautiful gifts. I was really happy to receive them. They brightened up my day.
Well,
Welcome to Cancel Culture at Best. Yeah.
Well, those damn little things that keep crawling around underneath my bed will be at your house Wednesday or Thursday.
I was like, what? Oh, the gnomes. Yes. Mark, we are 100% good. Is there a reason that we're
not?
Wouldn't be? Absolutely not. We're not good.
I got to flip my quarter today to find out.
People ask me that sometimes. It's usually, let me explain to you what it usually ends up being. And I guarantee you it's going to be one of these two things. You think we're not good because 1, I'm not responding to your emails, or 2, I'm not responding to your text messages. If it's either or, I haven't checked emails in about 3 weeks, and there's probably something wrong with my phone because it's happening with Jules. It's happening with John Keats. It's been happening with Tracy Tritton. For some reason, my phone just, some numbers don't come through, and then they'll come through for months and months, and then they don't come through. So if there's something going on like that, I will have to restart my phone, take your contact out, put it back in, and that usually helps. But yes, we are good. Here's the thing, guys, and then we'll start trying to maybe find something paranormal or extraterrestrial to talk about. I am stressed to the absolute max. But you got to know one thing about me. If you didn't do anything to me, I'm not ever going to be mad at you. All right. You guys are my family. And Mark, you very quickly became a part of that inner circle for me because you just have amazing energy and you're just a beautiful person. Paranormal Highway, what is up? Yeah, and it's, bullies. Yeah, but like, I look back and I'm like, okay, when I was in high school, teenage girls. But like at 40, like I didn't think I was going to have to deal with it. Because like I said, if you don't like me, just don't watch me. It's no big deal. You don't want to see my pictures? Just keep us rolling. You can even actually put, don't recommend this channel. And then you'll never see my channel again. Yes, Kingsport, Tennessee, Miss Batmom. If you guys want to go and give a 5-star, I want to get as many 5 stars on there to erase the damage that was done by this church going guy, because that's their livelihood, that's their business, that's how they pay their bills, that's a business that they've created. And I know for a fact that the guy is lying. I know they are because I know Tennille. I don't have to know anything else except Tennille.
Tennessee Twins. The Tennessee
Twins. They're so sweet, and they're so they're just good. They're just good people. So there's no way that they're going on Facebook and being like, this guy is being a bully to us for it if the guy isn't. I mean, I'm sorry. I take them at face value any day of the week. Yes, Murfreesboro. I have the wooden Murfreesboro ornament hanging on my big bay window in my kitchen from the time you and Shauna sent me that box of all the stuff from Tennessee, the coasters and all that, and all the shirts. Mark, and see, I didn't get any. And that's usually when someone will ask me if we're okay. I'll just re-put in your information. I got a Samsung Galaxy S23 a few months ago, and this happens sometimes with people that I text a lot. Like you and I do text a lot. So it'll start when you get to the point where like my texts aren't going out, texts aren't coming in, and I just have to like reboot it. I don't know. And it does not abide bullies. Yeah, Batmom, they're not very good reviews on Yelp right now because this guy literally flooded. Before that, they had 5 stars, only good reviews. One in like, and I went on and looked before because I was interested in what their company was about because I thought it was funny. It was called Hillbilly. It would be like 1 in 50 would have like a 3-star because of like a time issue or something. Excuse me. This guy went and flooded their review board with bad reviews.
Church girl for you.
a churchgoer. I don't believe they're a churchgoer if you're church. Well, actually I do, because most churchgoers don't realize that, we're not supposed to be judging is the main thing they have issues with. So it's just some random guy, Anna, who happened to be stuck behind her tow truck driver, who is a new driver, and she said he's the best driver. She was excited, speaking privately to me, about how amazing this driver is. They couldn't hold on to a driver for so long because the work, it's rough work, and they only have one. So she was saying how amazing he was to begin with. But she said what happened was, like, the guy was trying to get around him and he couldn't, and her driver refused to go over the speed limit, which was 25. So then the guy, when he wasn't getting her to, like, get upset, like, oh, well, we'll have a talk with him and this and that, she was like, no, I can see from here that he was only doing 24. He's like, no, he was speeding. Then it was that he was speeding. I don't know the whole story. I only saw what she put on Facebook. I didn't get a chance to speak to her privately, but just some random male Karen, like I said, a Kevin, just looking to try and ruin someone else's life because they were late for church. What's up, Long Island Bigfoot?
Just so folks know, I'm not in YouTube, so my hands are a little, so I'm not typing or in YouTube.
Okay.
Just so folks know, because I know a lot of people know I'm in there, but not this time.
Mike, how you doing? How's doing? So yeah, guys, I haven't had a chance today to check out like the whistleblower news or any of that jazz. I really just woke up, did dishes, and wrote. And that's what I plan on doing. I've got 40 minutes of yoga and some writing to do before picking RJ up from the bus. So I didn't really get to check that out. If I knew that was going on, I would have at least skimmed it to have something to talk about. But what about you guys? Any let's see, any thoughts on Monday's upload with the mysterious cave or the disappearance of Randy Leach, I think it was. And I also covered, what was the first story in that video? I forgot myself. Oh, the prospecting guy, the ore mining guy who found that cave and like jumped realities. That was pretty interesting research for me. It was cool. What happened? What's up? He said, wow, Gemma.
Edna, how's your daughter doing?
Mentally disturbed, Ken. I like it.
Yeah, her daughter was having a problem with a hat man and a hag.
I believe that's probably what you, Anna, sent me an email that I just haven't been able to get to. Guys, it's been so crazy. Did you figure it out? Did you figure?
She said something about it came back, and I get to see all that because I was, anyways. I think it was during Saturday stream, but her daughter went on vacation, was out of town, and didn't have any problems apparently. But I think Edna said they came back. Now that I know that, if that's true, Edna, all clear since I did my thing. Told her to call me okay, all clear then. Good. Because if it happens again, I got some things. Just let me know. Because I've dealt with that man before personally. And I saw him again. Following somebody.
I have recently found out, and I know a lot of people don't like this, but it's just the truth. It's just what I found recently has worked for me, which I never thought of before. Yeah, I know that's one of the main things that's so important, to be forceful, to defend your space. Also, I always offer you guys the gift of laughter. Laugh. And I don't know if that works for the Hat Man, because I believe that he's more of like an overlord. I watch a lot of Star Wars. Okay. I'm obsessed, but like, I don't know if he's like an overlord or like an overseer, but I know for the regular shadow beings, laughter works. They will literally, you can't see their facial features, but you will just feel the confusion coming off them. And then they leave, and they will leave. If they do not get the food that they're seeking, they will leave. But I've noticed recently, holy water, guys, I mean tar water. You know, you guys know tar water, war water, which I make homemade, and it takes a long ass time to make. But I do make it. I send it out to y'all in boxes for the cost of just shipping. And because I don't charge for inventory anymore, guys. My boxes are a mess. I just charge shipping. And holy water, which I've also been collecting. So it does help. It definitely helps.
And
Uh,
you said it's a hooded figure that sits in the corner. I thought you said it was like a hat man, but a hooded
oh,
figure.
okay.
But see, still, that's the same to me. These things I rank along with the demons. These things are powerful. I mean, the first encounter I had in elementary school, I literally believed it killed the guy it was following because he didn't make it to the summer.
I covered that on listener
Yeah,
encounter.
and
I
I
just want to write
really
down what
feel.
I'm about to say so I don't forget. Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No,
Um,
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I really believe that they're one of the most dangerous types, especially the longer they hang around. And from the research I've done and the things I've seen, they can control other entities. They're like lower levels, and they can manipulate them, and they mess with those entities just as much as they mess with people too. So you got to be careful. So if this thing comes back, I want to know right away because Patricia says that she's got some stuff that I can send you.
Yeah, and I know you've sent me email about this. I didn't realize. I thought you were sending me like an encounter. To be honest with you, and I'm really sorry. And that's why email is like a really bad way to try to get in touch with me. Just where I'm at in my life. You can always text me. Even like the middle of the night. Like it doesn't bother me. I keep my ringer off. So I'll get it as soon as I wake up in the morning that way. You can ask Mark, like Mark will text me in the middle of the night. My daughter-in-law does it. It doesn't bother me. You can't wake me up. But here's a few things. Now I did cover this in my third book, which I think Anna you've read. I hope you've read. There is a difference between Hatman and hooded figures. So Hatman, I believe, is like I said, the overlord or the overseer of shadow entities in general. But when you're talking about a hooded shadow figure, for me, that's a little different because that's when you're getting into Jinn territory. And Jinn are ancient demons. They're just something that they're called Jinn because they come from the Islamic lore, and they talk about them in the Quran a lot. And you know, whether or not the entity has red eyes is also actually, believe it or not, makes a big difference. Sometimes you'll get the Hatmen with red eyes, sometimes you'll get without, and then sometimes I've even seen them reported. I haven't seen them myself with green or yellow eyes, and I believe that is just the green and yellow to me is just lower level demons trying to imitate something scarier than what they could appear to be at that time because they're so low level.
Now, Iron Dogger, sorry. This is not uncommon with sick people. Right before they either find out a diagnosis, my mother, before she passed, told me once that there was a hat man that would visit her in her room and tell her horrible things. So this is not uncommon, just so you know. And as for the hooded figure, I kind of agree with you there. Um, I just kind of put them in the same category as hat. But see, like my hat man encounter, I didn't see no eyes. All I saw was that creepy smile he gave me. Like he was like, I got the impression from him that I was next. So it was like for a long time, this is a lot of reasons why I don't take pictures of myself and like pictures taken of me because I'm afraid of what I'll see behind me. I've said that before, I think, in my own personal stream that it does bother me. I even have a hard time standing in front of a mirror. So
Um, Never so shocked in my life she was going through this. More and more people, like Steven and I talk about a lot, are, hey, Shelly girl, spontaneously activating. And not only that, it's like the more aware. So hear me out. Not only is the veil thinning or lifting, as a lot of people are saying, but here's one of the reasons why. Back in, say, like the 1980s, people probably saw shadow beings. They probably saw the Hat Man. They probably saw Jinn. They probably were tormented and terrorized about, like, from them. But how would they get that out into the world? How would people know, except for like the people they knew, right? Then you move into like the early 2000s, around 2010, even 2011, where Heidi Hollis was trying to get her first shadow entity book, whatever, I don't remember what it's called, but it's about shadow people. And they were like, no, never heard of this, not going to publish it. It took her years to get that first book published. Watching it on TV, the more that it's talks about, the more that it's, you know, put into the minds of more and more people, even the younger generation start to know what it is, growing up, knowing what that type of stuff is. It broadens it out. Your awareness is, I would say, being aware of these entities is like 75% of whether or not you're going to see them. You have to be aware of them. You know, it's a lot easier to recognize a shadow person as a shadow person if you've heard of shadow people. Otherwise, it's like, what was that? That was weird. Or it could be like, oh my gosh, I just saw a shadow person. Then you're breathing it into life. You're speaking it out. You're giving it energy, even if you're only... Guys, it's so intricate, but so simple at the same time.
And
It's just the awareness has been raised so much in the last decade that so many people are being overtaken by these things.
now here's the weird thing. When my mom and she kind of believed what I saw, everybody else in the family kind of come and go. But I noticed over the years that sick people, or before they're diagnosed with something, they see these things straight out. I mean, they see them right in front of them. But most people, when it comes to shadow beings, usually start seeing them out of the corner of their eyes first. And then when they start seeing them out of the corner of the eyes and start acknowledging that, that's when they start seeing them come more out into their view. So it's like, the more you acknowledge it, the more they know that they contaminate you.
Well, acknowledging them is giving them energy, believe it or
Yeah.
not. It
Oh yeah.
is. And that's like the more fear that you show them. So Cynthia had a really good question. And then I'm going to read what Blue Crossroads said, and Kay's question. Isn't the veil the thinnest around Halloween? So Samhain, you know, Halloween Eve and Halloween, yes, it is the actual thinnest that it can be. It starts thinning. It doesn't just, it's not like it's just like this. So say this is the veil and it's thick, it's closed. Just stupid example, like I always give. Yeah, closed. And it's not just like on Halloween, all of a sudden it's like this. So starting right around now, where we're at now in September, it starts tiny, opening. But here's the thing, guys. If it was 1960, that would be it. Now, in 2023, because of how the world is, it's starting like this. It's already very open, and it's permanently open. So being thinner, yes, more things come through, but it really doesn't have to do with the veil being thin. It has to do with everybody being so interested in the veil and spirituality and the entities. There is this massive, almost rampant interest in these types of things nowadays, which is great. It's amazing. But people are taking that interest and experimenting with things they have no business experimenting with. I'm a medium. It took me about 3 years to be able to use the Ouija board properly without getting myself into trouble. And now I can't use one because it just goes immediately to goodbye over and over again. Why? Because I protect myself so much because of the things that have had happen to me while using them. So yes, while technically it is the thinnest, the night before Halloween into Halloween and throughout until November 1st, the veil is so thin nowadays as it is that it's like, if it got any thinner around Halloween, it wouldn't even be that much of a difference. It's just the people's collective belief is so tremendous nowadays, which is great. Like I said, it allows people like us to do what we love on the internet and talk about these types of things and help people and raise awareness. But at the same time, it's the people who really don't know what they're doing and are running around saying that they're professionals just to try to make money, or, you know, whatever they're trying to do, make themselves feel better, make themselves more popular. And they're giving really bad advice, and they're doing really dangerous things. And it's not just dangerous to them, it's dangerous to the collective, because when you pull these spirits in, these entities, this evil into our world, into our collective reality, it doesn't just stay with you, you know, pretty bad. So Blue Crossroads said, my friend Dave Hensley had multiple Hatman encounters. He said it was so terrifying that if it ever happened again, he didn't think he would survive it. He died last year in a sleep cause unknown. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, actually, I mentioned Christopher Case in 2 books. So in book 2, Encounters with Evil, there's a short story about Christopher Case. And then I tell the full story in the longest chapter in my 3rd book, about Christopher Case. He was definitely 100% killed by shadow entities, that were sent to kill him, and terrorize him through a witch's curse. I do believe that a lot of unknown deaths that happen in people's sleep, cause unknown, or when you talk about a 30-year-old dying in their sleep of natural causes because there's no other explanation, that's shadow entities. That is demonic realm work. That is, for lack of better terms, guys, okay, so don't come at me, bad witch territory, right? And then Special K had asked something. What do you think that means, that these shadow beings are revealing themselves more and more? I don't think they're necessarily revealing themselves more and more. I think they're around just as much as they've always been. It's the collective belief. So now that we're aware of them in the back of our minds, we're subconsciously calling them to us. And it's a lot easier to get your story out there about having seen them. I mean, they probably were around just as much back in the day, but nobody, you know, you can't sit there and say you saw a person walking around, but they looked like just a shadow standing over your bed at night harassing you. You'd be put in the loony bin.
It's like the same thing they say about everything. You know, nobody had pictures of anything back in the day because everybody wasn't carrying a camera with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now everybody carries a camera with them, just like talking about it. Everybody's talking about this stuff now. So now people are starting to realize what they're seeing. It's the same principle. Once you get the word out or start showing things happen. And the veil is thinning and it is lifting. Now, see, Halloween's a hard time for me. When I was a kid, I loved Halloween, and I still do. But that's when I think the things that I see get even with me, because I can guarantee you within the next, once October kicks in, I'll start waking up with bruises. I'll have nightmares. Hi, Smoochie, misbehaving. Pammy. But yeah, when Halloween comes around now, I have a little bit of tenseness behind me because I do start waking up with bruises. I've woken up with handprints on my chest. But once Halloween disappears, that night after, things pretty much go right back to normal.
Last year we had a good time on Halloween, though. I don't think either one of us was attacked by anything. We had a good night. We went to a Halloween party last year, you and I, and we actually had a good time, and we were both really nervous that something was going to happen to us that night, and neither one of us got anything weird.
It was a good night because I think a lot of it was I was comfortable, and I felt protected, because I hate to say it, when I was with you, that was one of the few times that I didn't, because, you know, I can't shut things down like you can. And when I'm with you, it's like I didn't realize that until I came back the second times, that when I was around you, your protection that you do for yourself actually was protecting me too, which was, I thought, kind of odd, but nice. I still saw stuff when I was with you. I mean, we sat in that car every time we went somewhere. You see that, you see that, you see that.
Yeah, no, but I understand. I also think there wasn't the usual anticipation. Like for the past few years, except for last year, I was dealing with a lot last year on Halloween. But I think we might have last year even. I've live streamed on Halloween. This year I'm going to do that too, but it's going to be a little later in the night because I didn't get to take my little guy trick-or-treating last year or the year before because I was live streaming. Not because I was live streaming. I was live streaming and I didn't get to go with him. So this year I am definitely taking him. But then we're going to figure something out. I also want to figure out something to do on the channel, like 7 days of Halloween or something like that. Heather, Nikki, listening from work. Yeah, guys, it's the collective understanding that these things are real. It's also, and you know, I know a lot of people think this sounds ridiculous, and I always tell you guys, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just maybe trying to open it a little bit. So, you know, we're all entitled to believe whatever we are going to believe based on our own experiences, right? Think about all of these younger, and I don't mean to blame the younger generation. It's older generations too, people just getting into things like channeling and just finding an interest in like things they see in horror movies, like Ouija boards, like seances, not realizing how serious it can be to what you're opening and what you're bringing through. And think about how many thousands or more of those things are done like every day around the world by young kids who don't know any better, novices who think they know better but don't, people trying to impress their friends, people actually trying to conjure things. Think about that. And then think about why our world is what's happening in our world. They are bringing things through. So I've heard people say, I think you might be talking about this because I've heard this recently in several different places. So shadow people being a manifestation of our own energy, or like, so like if you go into a place and you're feeling negative vibes and you're expecting to see something negative, or even if you're in like a negative mood, you're going to bring negative shadow entities towards you, or the shadow entities will appear as a manifestation of your own negativity or negative energy. I don't necessarily believe that's true. I believe if an entity is negative, it's negative. But I believe you have a better chance of attracting positive entities if you keep your energy positive, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Now, that's the thing too. I've heard this before a number of times. Yes, some people believe that, you know, shadow figures, anything bad, is a manifestation of our own fears and anger. Um, I was told a long time ago that a couple of the serial killers had sightings of shadow people who were talking to entities. Now, I don't know how much of this is true. This is just hearsay from reports that I've read in the past. So I would think that, yeah, maybe, you know, my mom once said, and my grandma said the same thing, watch talking to yourself too much because somebody may answer back and it may not be the person, it may be yourself and not a good way. So I always kind of wonder what they
like when we talk about our higher selves isn't us on a different level of being. We can actually commune with our higher selves. You get to a state of meditation where you're specifically trying to do that. We do that a lot of the time in our sleep, where we will either astral travel or just have the conversation. We don't really remember it, but we'll subconsciously retain the information, but we don't remember where the information came from, where you suddenly come to an answer to a problem you've been stressing over. That is you communing with your higher self and your spirit team. There are lower vibrating versions of yourself as well. There is a world around you right now, and this has recently become a meme, which I don't know if it makes me angry or if it makes me happy. I think it just makes me annoyed, you know, again, because it's not because it's a negative message, it's a very positive message, but it's because people who aren't even in this business or this field messing around with spirituality, and they could think they're messing with something positive and it's really something negative. The negative, evil, lower vibrational entities and energies are very, very good at pretending to be higher and better and more beloved and loving. So it said something to the effect of, there is a lifetime happening right now around you where you have everything you've ever wanted and have been working for your entire life. You are living your best, most authentic life. You are happier than you've ever been. You have everything. And this is just kind of summing up the few sentences. But then it says, all you have to do is vibrate high enough in the belief that that time is now, and you will timeline jump and quantum shift into that lifetime. Yes, that is very, very true. But we don't need to be telling 11-year-olds that so that they can go and try to scry this dimension. It makes me very nervous when it's so publicly out there all over the place on places like TikTok. Not when professionals are talking about it, but when it's just out there, things like that on a meme, it because like I said, you don't know how many people are doing rituals thinking they're doing the right thing or not realizing it actually matters how you do these things, right? We've all been little kids thinking about using a Ouija board or, doing something similar. Raymond says, for some reason, I think more portals have been opened, maybe CERN or others. I believe CERN has something to do with a lot of it. I really do. But yeah, people are accidentally opening them or on purpose opening them. And that is a lot of the reason why we have so much negativity and division in our world today. No matter which side of the fence you land on, left, right, middle, indifferent, it doesn't matter. You can't deny there's a lot of negativity going around, right in our faces. Yeah. And if you look even at, I don't want to be that person that's trying to make a statement about modern day music, but if you listen to a lot of the music, you're on mute. If you think of a lot of the music right now, a lot of it, like there are blatant images of devil worshiping and Satan and demons. And listen, I'm a born again Christian, but this does not come from my Christianity. This comes from my being a medium and being a spiritual being and understanding what happens when you can't even mess around with things like that. Raymond says, I think some dark entities are attached to positive people, or those who have been in the light. You mean, and those who have been in the light. Yeah. I mean, when something happens overnight for you, nobody can manifest that quickly. So I've said it before. Somebody sent in an encounter, or I read an encounter somewhere, and I used it in a very recent video where they said that if you come with me, I will be your spirit guide and I will give you everything you've ever asked for. Don't worry, I'm one of your angels. Guys, they're not even allowed to get involved to that degree. The higher vibrational light energies, they're not allowed to get involved to give you everything you want. They can give you the resources and the tools to work towards that. If you ask them, you have to call them in, specifically ask them for things, and they can move things and people around over the course of time as you're learning the right lessons and preparing you. If there's an entity that comes to you and offers you everything you've ever wanted when you wake up tomorrow morning, if you'll only do this, that, and the other, really consider what this, that, and the other is and how it's going to affect you and everyone else around you, because that is not a light energy or entity. It is specific, the creator, or just say the universe, right? So that we don't offend anyone. The universe doesn't allow it, cannot interfere with free will, period. That is like the number one law of the cosmos. So if you have an entity or an energy that is interfering with the free will of others who make space for your dreams, when you didn't have to work for anything and it's taken almost no time, do some people get lucky? Maybe. I do think a lot of people in the entertainment industry have sold their souls to a devil. I don't really believe in one devil. There are many Satans, and they all have demons and minions. There's not just one. I know a lot of people believe that. And if you do, that's okay. I tend to know different, but they're all like the devil would be, they're all just as bad, and they have no problem interfering with free will. That's why there are always contracts involved. Now we have a contract we sign in the fifth dimension with our spirit team and our guides and our soulmates and our twin flame, even to come down here and learn lessons and work through things and get through life, that's the contract. You will never have your spirit guide come to you and say, okay, now sign your name to this contract and I'm going to give you A, B, and C. No, because you're learning the lessons. You're doing it the right way. You're signing a contract basically saying you're giving up your own free will. I do believe a lot of them are under demonic possession. And I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theorist. And it really has nothing to do with conspiracy. It has to do with these are the facts of the matter and things that most people can't see. I can. And there it is in black and white. I would say 80% of celebrities nowadays either purposefully or unintentionally, even some unknowingly, have sold their souls to some form of devil or demonic entity, even in extraterrestrials as well. Mainly reptilians. So there's that. Do you guys like my pretty nail? You're still on mute. I thought I'd keep it cute for back to school night tonight. I wanted to do another Halloween pair, but I didn't want to, have that going on in the kindergarten. You are still on mute.
Duh. Okay, I wasn't meant to talk. I said my father and Thomas, my preacher friend, often says, you got to watch when you say, "Oh, I'd sell my soul for that," because you're almost directly saying, "Yeah, I just sold my soul for that," especially if it happens after you say it.
Yeah, and I've said that many times throughout my life, and I was fortunate that I wasn't approached. But who knows if I was, and I just didn't realize in the moment what it was. I just turned my back on everything paranormal happening in my life, which is why I ended up using. So yeah, I was just thinking, it's funny. I don't know. I just looked over and saw this cookie sheet. RJ selling these cookies and this cheesecake. And I just almost publicly asked you what kind of cookies you wanted. And then I'm like, wait, we're on a live stream right now. Someone just said something really interesting.
The
Special
wearing dresses.
Yeah.
The wearing a dressing is part of the ritual.
There said it the best. There's a point in his, I think you're saying a point in his career where they wanted him to wear a dress. He was not comfortable, so he said no, and he didn't make it to the money-making threshold, if you will. Yeah, and I don't know if that's a part of the initiation. I mean, it could very well be, but I do know that, I don't want to say I believe that people are being cloned, because I don't know if I would go that far. I just believe that people are being overtaken. That's why they look one way. And I believe that the people who aren't conforming do end up like Dave Chappelle, and they do end up falling off, basically the face of the earth, or dying mysteriously. And I do definitely believe that. But guys, here's the thing. I don't know. Bat Mom definitely will. Definitely. Always praying for you guys. I don't know if a lot of you are going to follow what I'm saying here, but I'll just say, I don't necessarily believe it's Satan or any of the devils or even entities. Okay. Yeah. Do they have evil and demonic type attachments on them? Heck yeah. Who and what are they selling their soul to? I'm going to tell you. Reptilians and other extraterrestrial entities just like them. Shape-shifting entities. Guys, say I'm crazy if you will. I've been called worse. I've been called it many times, but I know this as like for absolute certainty. The Illuminati, all that stuff. And this video is going to get demonetized, but I don't really care. Just the truth is the truth. That's all run by reptilian humanoids. Plain and simple. And sometimes they're what bring the evil and demonic attachments in. A lot of people think all demons are extraterrestrial. No, that's not true. But in some cases, we are seeing lower vibrational evil and demonic ETs thinking they're just demons. By the way, I love Dave Chappelle. It was really cool because he was saying how Netflix was streaming Chappelle's show. And some other network was streaming Chappelle's show, and HBO Max. And he said he called HBO Max and he said, listen, I don't own Chappelle's show. They never paid me for my work on Chappelle's show because I quit and it wasn't according to the contract, which I signed. He said, so they would own my name and likeness throughout the universe in perpetuity. He's like, and you don't know what that means. You just know there's millions of dollars on the table and you're broke. He's like, I had a pregnant wife at the time. He's like, I signed whatever the case may be. It was going in a direction he didn't want it to go in. He wanted to do another Chappelle show, but he wouldn't have been able to call it Chappelle show. So he said, I called Netflix and told them that I'm not getting paid for this. And I don't want you streaming it. It hurts my feelings. He said, I told him. And do you know what Netflix did? They stopped streaming it. They never even started. They said, you know what, Mr. Chappelle, we'd rather work with you in the future. Continue to get your specials. We're going to take this down. And they never streamed it. HBO Max said, yeah, that's great, and hung up the phone on him. He said HBO Max was one of the first places he pitched Chappelle's show. And he said they looked him right in the face and said, what do we need you for? We're HBO Max. And kicked him out of the office. And he said, I'm asking them now, what do I need you for? So he said, I'm asking you guys. He said, my real boss, the people who come and pay for my shows and who have watched Chappelle's show and supported me in my career, even when they tried to say I was crazy. He said, don't watch it. He said, boycott it. Boycott me. Boycott Dave Chappelle. And so many people boycotted it that they paid him millions of dollars. He got his name and his likeness back. He owns it, and he wants to do Chappelle's show too now. And it was really cool. I don't really believe in boycotting. It just sounds crazy to me, but because I'm like more of like a small picture person, or not a small picture person. So I'm a big picture person. So I don't see how it works out like in the big picture until I saw that with Dave Chappelle. I was like, wow, one person's voice really does make a difference, with Target and Ben and Jerry's and all that stuff going on too. The cat, what is up? So we got about 5 minutes left. I saw a Maybelline commercial recently that had something in it that I didn't like, and then I didn't agree with. And I actually looked over at my husband and I said, I'm boycotting Maybelline. And he was like, why? I was like, here's why. And I'm not going to say why, because, I'm not going to get political on the show. I was just surprised to see it. It was in there for 10 seconds out of the whole 3-minute ad. It was this tiny little 8 to 10 second clip. And it's like, it caught me off guard. I didn't expect it. And I wouldn't have cared if it was outright, but it was like they were trying to sneak it past me. And I was like, okay, no, I'm boycotting. And I realized, like, is it just me getting older, or did I realize that boycotting does work? You hit them in the wallet. What's up, slow motion? Well, that's why you're slow motion. Raymond said, some say Jamie Foxx will replace, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, I've been looking into that. I've been trying to get as many interviews with him as possible. I'm still not 100% sure about him, but I can tell you some that have been overtaken. Kanye, as controversial and strange as he is one that also refused to bow down to the reptilians, or whoever you guys, whoever you think it is.
This is called the cabal.
Yeah, and that's why he's suddenly crazy. Is he a little loopy and wonky? Yeah, but think about what that would do to you if you knew what he probably knows about the world with what he was offered and what he was asked to do for it. Think about it, guys. Come on. If you're approached by a demonic reptilian telling you could have everything you've ever wanted, if only you'll give them your soul, and you decide not to, could you imagine what that would do to you? I personally think they might wipe the memory of a lot of the people that sign these contracts. I can't imagine all these people just walking around knowing that this is going on. They might wipe the memory, which is why some of the celebrities that I believe are involved are like, that's insane. And they seem so genuine and authentic. I think it's simply because they have no memory of it. And, the photos of, like Jay-Z sitting on a Harlem block. And then you see Jay-Z now. It wasn't Jay-Z. It was some guy, some poor guy in Harlem in like the 1920s. Looks just like, and who else is it? Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage, Brad Pitt.
A lot of them. There's like 6 of them.
Guys, let's just say that's not a coincidence. They're not photoshopped pictures. They're real pictures. It's not in every case that it is that person. They don't have memory of it, but yes, they are living a lot longer in order to achieve the success. I do believe in the case, and this is all allegedly, guys, so I don't end up getting sued or getting in a lot of trouble here. Allegedly, it is definitely like Jay-Z I think Keanu has gotten to the point where he's like, okay, I'm good. Maybe starting to get some of his memory back with doing The Matrix. It's not a coincidence. All of these things are really happening, guys, and the world's eyes are opening. Our eyes are opening, and governments and other people higher up than that, they don't like that. And I think that's why a lot of the benign extraterrestrials are becoming more involved now too.
There was a guy that I was talking to the other day, cracked me up because we were talking about rabbit holes. And he says, you know what? I think rabbit holes are starting to get filled and everything that's in the rabbit hole is starting to come out. Like when you take water and fill groundhog holes with water, yep, and you flush them all out. He says, I think that's what's happening now is because everybody's digging in the rabbit holes. It's pushing everything out. And you're going to start seeing more crazier things now.
Okay, I absolutely agree. I absolutely love him. I feel like he is phasing out. He might be coming to the end of like his contract and not renewing because he seems to have reached a state of personal fulfillment and alignment that he may actually be able to move on from this now. But I believe that takes who knows how many hundreds of years. Blue Crossroads says during the courting stage of these people, they place them in massive compromising positions and have it and hold it over them. Yeah, I definitely believe that too. Pine Island Research, what's up? Yo, 99 problems and the government is one. I love you guys. Let me get going. I got 40 minutes of yoga and a whole lot of writing before I get my little guy and then go to my first ever parent teacher night. Yay. So, never thought about the memory being taken away. Yeah, think about it. Maybe not on all of them, maybe not on the top, 2%, but I think most of them don't have any clue. And they are allowed to do that as per like the Galactic Federation and Universal laws because it doesn't matter. Their signature is there. And entities like the Galactic Federation are very specific as to what constitutes free will and what doesn't. You signed it out of your own free will. Even though you were tricked, they don't deal in emotions that way. You know what I'm saying? They're very cerebral. They understand emotion as a concept. So being tricked doesn't like compute for them. It's just like, well, the human signed it. That's what it is. Yeah, laughing at us in our rabbit holes. You are not wrong. Morgan 5171, what is up? So everybody, I will do what I can to get to emails this week. I always say that, and I do always try, guys. I really do. Don't forget, Live Intuitive Oracle this week is Friday night. If y'all get a chance, Hillbilly Towing in, I always forget the name of the town. Kingsport, Tennessee. If you feel like supporting Lotus Girl, go on over and just hit the 5 stars. You don't have to give a false review or anything like that. Just hit 5 stars. I want to get rid of the damage this jerk guy has done. They don't deserve that. That business has been through hell between her and her husband's sicknesses, everything that they've gone through with their driver being almost extorted. Like a lot of personal stuff that I know about that situation that I just think now they finally are getting there. They finally pulled through the darkest night of the soul. And now they have to deal with this over some crazy Ken, as one of you said, who wanted to ride around a tow truck and couldn't. It's not fair. She's devastated. And after being bullying last week, I just don't want to put up with it anymore. So I will be the duck-lipped selfie queen of YouTube. I'm good with that because my channel is raisin, as is my vibration. I love you guys so much. Special K, yes, miss. Thank you. I did email you my phone number. I did do that at some point last week. Smoochie, I don't doubt it. And the cat, yes, I actually have that quote on my refrigerator. Or at least I used to. I don't know if it's still there. Stay in the white light. Absolutely. Be good, guys. And I think Ghostdragonzw might be doing something tomorrow at 10 p.m., depending on how his mouth's feeling. Oh, you're having surgery? So probably not. But we will see you on Friday, or at least I will, and we'll keep you posted if he is doing something tomorrow, because you know him, house burns down, he's still there for the stream. I will let you know. Otherwise, it'll be Friday we might be starting at 6:15. Only because if you notice, we're very tired out by the time 11 o'clock rolls around and we kind of have to rush, and I don't want to have to do that. So if we do,
I was in a bad way Saturday too. I
wasn't feeling well either, but I feel like it's just getting like every week I'm being worn out by the time 10:30 hits. So if we go from 6:15 to 10:30, that gives us a little bit more time. Plus we can end earlier. So we might do that, and I will let you guys know. Love you guys so much, and we'll see you there. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Special K, please do so. Mark, I will take your number out and enter it, and hopefully that will fix the issue. It normally does. This happens to me and Jules all the time. I don't know if maybe you have the same kind of phone as her. Yeah. And bye-bye.